evening, ladies and gentlemen. India has always been the arena for fiercely fought political and ideological battles. We pride ourselves for being a thriving democracy where we openly debate, dissent and even demonstrate. But are there some matters which should be above Rajniti, like the nation's pride? In the jalebi-like global political complexities, will khatakhat strikes against your own domestic rivals hurt the nation? I ask this question tonight because in the midst of a left liberal meltdown in America, they have stirred up a storm in India. While Dominica and Guyana have conferred their highest national awards to India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi has come out and targeted saying, "We have obliterated Prime Minister's image." Here's why. The United States Department of Justice has charged billionaire industrialist Gautam Adani and others for allegedly bribing over $250 million to Indian government officials to secure solar energy contracts. Adani Group has reiterated that these are merely allegations by the U.S. Attorney's Office and there is no substance to it, and these are just charges which still have to be proved in a court of law, something that these documents presented in court actually state themselves. You can see the exact charges and the group's counter on your screen. But on the basis of mere charges by a foreign agency, even before any court gives a ruling, gets into these charges, Rahul Gandhi has given his verdict. The honorable leader of opposition, who's himself out on bail as alleged by the BJP in the National Herald case for alleged misuse of funds, has linked the industrialist directly to the Prime Minister. Even before a court indictment, Rahul Gandhi has called for the arrest of Gautam Adani. BJP was quick to say that Rahul Gandhi has a habit of maligning Bharat. They also pointed out that at the time of the alleged scam, opposition parties were ruling the 4 states whose government officials were allegedly offered these bribes as stated in the charge sheet. Is the BJP right in saying that the Congress is willing puppet to the Soros propaganda machinery? You decide.
जो नरेंद्र मोदी जी की जो क्रेडिबिलिटी थी उसको हमने चूर चूर कर दिया है। पूरा देश जानता है कि नरेंद्र मोदी और अदानी जी एक हैं। पूरा देश जानता है कि इंडिया में अदानी जी सेफ हैं और उसका कारण नरेंद्र मोदी है।
सन 2002 से मोदी जी की क्रेडिबिलिटी को ध्वस्त करने की चेष्टा आपकी माताश्री और आपकी पार्टी लगातार कर रही है। न मौत के सौदागर से मोदी जी की क्रेडिबिलिटी पे डेंट पड़ा, न चौकीदार चोर है कहने से मोदी जी की क्रेडिबिलिटी पे डेंट पड़ा, क्योंकि देश की जनता जानती है कौन क्रेडिबल है और किसकी क्रेडिबिलिटी नहीं है। बिजली का बिल आपका और मुनाफा उनका। तो तमिलनाडु में बिजली का बिल भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार तो नहीं दे रही थी ना, बिजली का बिल तो डीएमके की सरकार दे रही थी। ठीक उसी प्रकार छत्तीसगढ़ में जुलाई 2021 से फरवरी 2022 के बीच में बिजली का बिल मोदी जी की सरकार तो जनरेट नहीं कर रही थी, बिजली का बिल तो भूपेश बघेल जी ही जनरेट कर रहे थे।
जब तक अदानी जी अरेस्ट नहीं होंगे तब तक क्रेडिबल बात नहीं बनेगी। और एंड में मैं आपको बता रहा हूं नरेंद्र मोदी जी का नाम निकलेगा, क्योंकि बीजेपी की पूरी फंडिंग, पूरा फंडिंग स्ट्रक्चर इस व्यक्ति के हाथ में है।
Let's now tell you about the United States indictment. It is an allegation. A federal indictment is an accusation and it is not equal to conviction. In fact, the report mentions that the group is innocent until proven guilty on its own. But is the BJP correct in questioning the timing of this case? Sample this Newshour fact check. Remember the Rafale deal controversy in December 2017, just before the winter session of Parliament? The session was a washout as the opposition demanded a JPC. Then in April 2021 came the Rafale papers by a foreign organization. This too was right ahead of the Parliament session, just one day before the monsoon session of Parliament in 2021. The Pegasus report came out. Opposition again disrupted that session and demanded a JPC. Of course, nothing less. Then in January, ahead of the budget session, the first Hindenburg report was released, and then came another washout session. This time, the winter session of Parliament is just 4 days away, starting on Monday, and the demand for a JPC to corner the government has already begun. Is it merely a coincidence? Well, just asking. Now, a few more questions that are being raised. If the Prime Minister is backing Adani and vice versa, then why does he need to bribe government officials? What about the projects, the MOUs between Adani and governments in the India Alliance rule states? Why accept investment from such a businessman? Also, what about the allegation by the BJP that none of the 4 states in question had a BJP government at that time? So, ladies and gentlemen, these questions are all out there in public domain. But the legitimate question that we're asking, the Motorola legitimate question on the Newshour tonight, has Rahul Gandhi put Soros above Sabut? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of the BJP, with me in the studios here. Also joining the debate, Suhail Seth, columnist, marketing guru, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, scientist, political scientist, forensic analyst. Also joining the debate tonight, Ameek Jamai, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Priyanka Kakkar, national spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, joining us in just a bit. But my first question goes to Dr. Sanjay Jha, Congress leader, author, economist, call him what you will. And these documents in my hand, Sanjay Jha, are the indictment that has excited the Congress party just so much. I want to ask you the 4 states that have been named. Question number 1, why is the Congress not talking about the states? One is the state of Odisha, one is Tamil Nadu, one is Chhattisgarh, and the third one is Andhra Pradesh. Chhattisgarh, the time period which is mentioned here was ruled by the Congress party, Bhupesh Baghel. So should the Congress not be answerable? And then, of course, your alliance partner, the DMK in Tamil Nadu, just dial a friend, and he'd probably answer your questions about Adani that you need answered. And then there are Odisha, the BJD ruled Odisha at that time, and the YSRCP, which are the parties. I want to ask you, where does Narendra Modi fit into all of this that the Congress has suddenly taken off on Narendra Modi tonight?
I will answer that question, Navika. Definitely I will. But I think before that, let's be absolutely clear. Anybody who understands SEC, which is the counterpart of the great SEBI of India, they will know that this is a very, very serious acquisition. This involves the Department of Justice. This is an arrest warrant issued against India's richest man with a very close proximity to Prime Minister Modi. And it talks of an arrest warrant. Navika, before we get into the states, and I will answer that because I want to expose the big fraud of the BJP today, because Mr. Adani is not India. I'm ashamed and appalled at how cheap and disgusting the BJP has become, like the legal counsel or the PR firm of Mr. Adani's group. I understand they have to save Mr. Modi's skin. This is not about the BJP. This is about Prime Minister Modi. Simple and straight. And here is my answer. Have you read the document? I have read the entire document all afternoon today. It talks about Adani Group, very close to Mr. Modi, lying to the investors in America and elsewhere, raising monies in billions of dollars fraudulently because they misled investors, which, by the way, is an act of criminality in US law. I have worked with Bank of America and Alliance Capital, both of them listed entities, and dealing with a lot of cross-border investments. The FCRA is serious business. Like it or not, it is serious business. And while we in India are corruption to chalta hai, electoral bond to chalta hai, Rafale to chalta hai, and America has serious flaws maybe, but I can tell you this for a fact, there are times where they know where to draw the line. Even the former president and now president-elect Mr. Trump has had to go to the courts and get indicted. Now here is my answer to your question as far as those states are concerned. Very interesting that Sambit Patra and the BJP forgot to mention Jammu and Kashmir, because that is under central rule reporting to Amit Shah and Narendra Modi. Why will Sambit Patra mention Jammu and Kashmir? Why will he not? Why will he mention? Where was the ED, income tax and the CBI, Navika, who are arresting leaders and putting them in jail for 1 crore or a 50 lakh alleged kickback, when 2,000 crores are being paid in kickbacks all over the country? And I want to ask,
okay, all over the country, amend that, all over the country means 5 states, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Tamil Nadu, and yes, the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. But you have not answered any question about the other states, but you will highlight Jammu and Kashmir. No highlighting of Chhattisgarh, no highlighting of Tamil Nadu. You've done a whole speech, but no answer on why Chhattisgarh should not. No, come on. You know, let's not be intellectually dishonest. Let's not be intellectually dishonest. Sanjay Jha, basically, Modi hai nishana, baki sab hai bahana. Because 4 states that you are talking of do not have anything to do with the BJP at that time. There's one union territory of Jammu and Kashmir that, of course, have the central government rule over there, but you are not answering questions on the other. You expect total transparency from the BJP. Shehzad Poonawalla, is that fairly and squarely? I mean, just because the Congress is not answering doesn't mean the BJP should not answer. Please respond to the charges made by Sanjay Jha.
I will definitely.
I haven't finished yet, and I hope you
will never finish. भाई 11 साल हो गए हैं. You are after Modi. You will never finish, and I hope आपका ये चलता रहे.
Odisha and Andhra Pradesh were supporters of the BJP. They are opposition-ruled states. They are supporters of the BJP in parliament.
And that's why the BJP actually replaced the BJP government in Odisha. Fantastic, great.
You know who they supported. And by the way, that is not the issue. The issue in the report is that Mr. Adani ran a bribery scheme and he met a government official.
Okay.
I want to ask
serious
Modi,
question. Response from Shehzad Poonawalla, if I may.
First of all, the point is that we are the PR firm of Adani. Adani is close to Modi. Adani की proximity है मोदी से. अडानी का जन्म कब हुआ? मुंद्रा पोर्ट गुजरात कांग्रेस ने दिया. फर्स्ट पीवीसी बिजनेस कब बड़ा हुआ? जब राजीव गांधी और नरसिम्हा राव ने एक्सपोर्ट लिबरलाइजेशन पॉलिसी लाई. अडानी एंटरप्राइज बना कब? कांग्रेस के ज़माने में 1994 में. 2006 to 2008 6 SEZs were given by the UPA government to Adani. Mining and power business grew in 2008-2009. First time acquired a coal mine outside India in Australia 2013. Became the biggest thermal power player 2011. Biggest solar power plant player 2013. Virinium port given after Modi came to power by whom? By the left government. 2021 Bengal gives Tajpur port. MVA government gives Dighi port. Projects given in Chhattisgarh, Punjab, Rajasthan, all given after Modi ji came to power, but he's close to Prime Minister Modi. Investment of 12,000 crores in Telangana. Investment of 60,000 crores in Gehlot government's Rajasthan. Investment of 25,000 crores under Baghel government in Chhattisgarh, but he's close to Modi. But if he's so close to Modi and he's so corrupt, why were you taking his investments? Why were you doing business? आप क्या करे तो चमत्कार दूसरों के गुनेगार. Please don't interrupt. I did not interrupt you even one time. Now let me come to the current issue. The current indictment document. Sanjay Jha has read the indictment document. He should have read the fact that these are charges, and these charges doesn't mean that somebody is guilty. And even if you are saying that somebody is guilty, then let us see where the charges are. Let's start with Jammu Kashmir. By the way, Jammu Kashmir at that time had a governor called Mr. Satyapal Malik, and it was a union territory. And Mr. Satyapal Malik, by the way, is under a CBI probe which you oppose. So I don't know why you oppose that CBI probe. You should actually now support it. Don't interrupt, Sanjay Jha. You're constantly doing that. Then the other government was Chhattisgarh government of Bhupesh Baghel. So if Mr. Rahul Gandhi says that A, B, C should be arrested on this charge, then by the same logic he should say Mr. Baghel should be arrested, because the power purchasing is done by the state government authorities. It has not been done by central government authorities. And similarly in Odisha, Andhra and Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is a Congress DMK government. So even there the question is on Congress DMK. Now coming to the other point. The point is, whenever there is parliament session, Navika, this is not Sahyog, it is not Prayog, it has become Udyog. Remember in 2018 they wanted discussion on price rise. We said let's have discussion. They got Rafale. Rafale was kicked out by the Supreme Court. Then they hijacked parliament. Then in 2020 they wanted discussion on COVID. We said let's discuss COVID. Then they got the entire report of Pegasus. It was kicked out by the Supreme Court. Then after that they said BBC documentary issue also, the courts have not given them any relief. And now they have brought this other issue after Hindenburg part 1. They have brought this other issue of Adani at a time when Adani was trying to do some bonds in United States. But having said that, let me make 2-3 points finally. Sir, please don't interrupt. You're constantly interrupting. What is the problem? Navika, I did not interrupt. Navika, this shows he's weak on facts. Now, on Hindenburg, Mr. Sanjay Jha, you read the report today, but you did not read what Supreme Court said. And I quote the Supreme Court. The OCCRP report is not conclusive. Secondly, the Supreme Court said that the Hindenburg report, where is the proof? How can we rely on this? This is not credible. Sharad Pawar said Hindenburg report was a targeted attempt to target Adani. And by the way, the Supreme Court said that all the short sellers who are involved in this should be investigated by the ED, because this was nothing but an attempt to actually make money by short-circuiting the Indian markets. This is what the Supreme Court said. But I'll tell you why Congress does this. And finally, I'm ending why Congress does this. And here is the proof. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. Listen to what he said.
नामुमकिन है चुनाव लड़ना एकदम
एक बैग पैसे से बन जाएगा अडानी अंबानी
बड़ा नोट मिले तो
एक बैग से बन जाएगा आपका चोर
जैसे लोग मिल जाएगा तो मैं तो बीपीएल हूँ
तो आप पार्लियामेंट में तो इनको बुरा भला कहते हैं अडानी अंबानी को सबको
जरूर कहते हैं
फिर वो
तो नहीं भेजेगी इसलिए कहते हैं
पैसा नहीं भेजता अडानी अंबानी, इसलिए हम पार्लियामेंट में कहते हैं. तो आज संजय झा जी बता दीजिए, आप डायरेक्टली अडानी अंबानी से बात कर लीजिए ना. अगर पैसा मिलेगा तो पार्लियामेंट में चुप हो जाएंगे. अधीर रंजन चौधरी ने बोला है, ये उनका स्टेटमेंट.
Normally Shehzad Poonawala, I don't have to fact check you, but I'll just fact check you on dates. 21-22, the period that is being referred to was not actually Satyapal Malik. It was Manoj Sinha as the LG who took over in 2020. You may want to check that. But having said that,
one second. In case that is the case, if that is the case, anyways, I am saying that are they taking a stand on Baghel? Are they taking a stand on the Tamil Nadu government? But the same stand will apply for Jammu Kashmir also. Where am I running away from it? But point is that how are they saying that Baghel is not corrupt, but everybody else is corrupt based on a charge that has been allegedly said by the United States?
Absolutely. And let me get in Priyanka Kakkar. Priyanka Kakkar, when the 4 states are being spoken about, this document, the indictment document itself says that the electricity distribution companies in India that are state owned and state controlled and performed functions that the state governments in India treated as their own. The state distribution companies were instrumentalities of the Indian government, and their officers, employees were foreign officials. Now, the onus is entirely on states, entirely on the state governments, because these bribes have been given to state government officials, if as alleged in this particular indictment. So Priyanka Kakkar, I want to just ask you, why is everything only about Modi? चौकीदार चोर हो जाता है, nothing proved in court, Hindenburg आ जाता है. Is everything part of a larger conspiracy to run down India, run down India's credit rating, its economic power in the world, and not allow Indian companies to grow because they become global threats to other companies?
Good evening to you, Navika ji, and to all your viewers. I think it is right of you to ask questions of opposition, and what has happened in this case, why Modi is connected, is also because you will remember there were also allegations that he travelled to certain countries to secure contracts for Mr. Adani, for example in Sri Lanka, which the current PM is now contemplating and talking about cancelling those contracts because there is allegedly certain frauds in them too. The Kenyan High Court today, you must have seen that in the Kenyan Parliament also, they cancelled all the contracts given to Adani today subsequent to this report because there are certain illegalities apparently committed there too. Now what I'm saying is, see, when it comes to say the Aam Aadmi Party, you picked up a sitting CM based on certain allegations which were manufactured in BJP's office. Now when there's such reports, such indictments coming, please arrest Mr. Adani.
Please clarify and then which allegations.
If you are not arresting, that in itself shows proximity.
Did he not build a Sheesh Mahal? Did he not build Priyanka? You're a very bright, reasonable person.
No, we didn't. It is
Priyanka,
no, we didn't.
1 minute, Priyanka.
No,
you more than anyone else know
I will come to your question. It is a very important issue. I must
down.
speak on this.
Okay.
Of course,
Suhail,
I'm so sorry.
All right.
I
Priyanka, finish your point before
I will answer all your questions. Sir, of course, I'm the opposition. I am answerable to each question, not the ruling party. I will answer that. But it is very imperative that, questions must be asked, and why are they running away from a judge? And according to the BJP, because it has zero tolerance to corruption, they first arrest and then conduct the investigation. Why are the rules applicable differently here? If you go by Mr. Shehzad Poonawala's argument, this is what he just argued, that the rules should be same. And going by the previous argument, he said that because the foundation stone of Adani's empire was laid during Congress regime, is it okay to be corrupt in BJP regime? Is this what he's trying to say? So it's a very, I'm telling you what they're doing. They are capturing the power discoms because they want to supply electricity only through Adani in this country at exuberant rates, which is happening in several of BJP ruled states already. We have not allowed Adani to enter Delhi. He tried so much. That is why we are able to give free electricity in Delhi. So it is my simple point. Why are you running away from an investigation?
All right. Good question. Shehzad Poonawala, please respond to the charge made by Priyanka Kakkar. Suhail Seth, I'm coming to you.
Suhail and Anand both are waiting, so I'm very sorry. Just 10 seconds. Just 10 seconds.
By misusing the ED and CBI.
Just 10
and
seconds.
It is for all to see. The
Okay. All right. Fair question by Priyanka Kakkar. Please respond, Shehzad.
I will the moment she keeps quiet.
Okay.
Thank you. She just spoke about Kenya cancelling some contract with the Adani Group. Punjab has currently got 2 contracts with the Adani Group. When is Punjab cancelling these contracts? 2021 short-term contract to supply 6,000 megawatts to Punjab. And please do not interrupt. Ma'am, please do not interrupt. I am sitting in the studio, but I have respected your right to speak whatever you wanted without one interruption. Navika, I think this is not fair. Navika, then this will waste the time of the debate. Navika, this will waste the time. I will not yield. The BJP is not going to yield all the time. Navika, this is not fair. You gave her a chance to speak. You have to give me that chance.
You don't need to yield. You're not in the parliament. Don't give yourself so much importance.
You are never going to reach there because your party doesn't win any seats. You all win only below nota. So please, you also don't need to have the ambition also. Navika, this is a waste of time. Navika, technically it is my time. I will not.
Priyanka Kakkar, just a minute. You made a charge. He is responding to the charge. I will give you time to counter. Please.
Navika, the difference between a sponsored ad and a debate is that each one gets a time to speak. This is not an ad that the Aam Aadmi Party is giving. So she should understand ad and debate antar hota hai. Perhaps her netas can explain that.
To the point.
Now, having said that, Punjab has 2 ongoing contracts with the Adani Group. Kenya का बता दिया, Kenya ने जी ये कर दिया, अरे भाई पंजाब क्या करेगा? दूसरी बात, इन्होंने कहा कि हमने इनको घर में आरोप लगाया इनके खिलाफ, कोर्ट ने क्लीन चिट दी है क्या केजरीवाल को? दूसरी बात, कांग्रेस ने बोला है कि ये भ्रष्ट, और तीसरी बात, इन्होंने बोला मोदी जी जाकर प्रोजेक्ट दिलवाते अडानी को. She has said this. When was the Bangladesh project given to Adani? Who took him there? Mr. Manmohan Singh made him sign the treaty with Sheikh Hasina. मनमोहन सिंह. अब बताओ कि मनमोहन सिंह कौन सा थैला लेकर बैग लेकर जा रहे थे? It is our interest that our entrepreneurs and our conglomerates grow, whether it is A or B or C. It is today, we have seen that there were only 100 or 200 startups. There are 1 lakh startups. There were 4 unicorns. There are 125 unicorns. Today, these people who have taken money from that oxygen cylinder ghotalebaj, those who have taken money and made Vadra businessman, today those people are against entrepreneurs who are earning the money through their sweat and toil. Are you against Indian entrepreneurship and private sector?
Well, the question here is, are we willing to rubbish all... One minute.
पंजाब ने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कब कैंसिल करने वाले हो वो बताओ आप.
Okay, Priyanka.
नहीं, पंजाब पे कुछ नहीं बोलना, हमने नहीं किया जी.
Okay, Priyanka is responding.
Shehzad ji, you have not been able to answer. You have not been able to answer. Why must you not arrest this man and then investigate?
अरे जी, आपने तो बोला था कि केजरीवाल की गिरफ्तारी गलत है. 7 में से 7 सीट जीतने वाले हैं दिल्ली में. नहीं, दिल्ली में 7 out of 7 जीतने वाले थे ना, अरेस्ट का बदला वोट से. तो जनता ने आपको जवाब दे दिया ना अरेस्ट पे. आपको जनता ने जवाब दिया ना अरेस्ट पे. आप मानी?
भाई,
जनता ने बोल दिया आपको कि केजरीवाल डिजर्व्स टू बी इन जेल. शीश महल से बाहर निकलो.
आप दूसरों की बारी तो बहुत तिल मिलाते हो.
बोलिए प्रियंका जी, कुछ बोलने के लिए बचा नहीं है. पंजाब की
ऑल राइट
पूरी तरह
प्रियंका,
अब आप सुनिए.
प्रियंका कक्कड़ जी, द क्वेश्चन इज ऑन पंजाब. इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट केन्या, व्हाट अबाउट पंजाब? दैट्स द पॉइंटेड क्वेश्चन. प्लीज रिस्पॉन्ड.
I am saying, please, if there are any contracts running which have been given to by governments prior to our regime, please have them investigated too. I am saying arrest the man and conduct an investigation. I am saying please conduct an investigation with respect to these ED, CBI misuse, acquiring of channels. Have the investigation conducted with respect to any contracts given here. Have the investigation conducted. Because you know,
state government का है, आप करो ना कांग्रेस के प्रोजेक्ट को.
who have been bribed by this unit.
You know that doesn't answer because it's a state government project. You are running the government there. You can take action if you so wish to. But Sohail said the larger question that I am asking you. And the larger question is that are politicians, are political parties in this country ready to write off and sacrifice Indian companies, large Indian conglomerates, just on the basis of some allegations that have come up, even before they can be investigated or details of the investigation arguments in court come up? Are we trying to say that there are no possible conspiracies, that countries and larger global companies, multinationals would not be interested in killing Indian big companies so as to have their monopoly across the world? Sohail said, are we playing into these conspiratorial hands?
So 3 or 4 things. Number one, since you have such a bright panel, I want to paraphrase William Shakespeare. When Brutus was asked, why did you stab Caesar? He says, not that I loved Caesar less, but I loved Rome more. Rahul Gandhi's case, it's not that he loves India less, but he hates Narendra Modi more. A. B. Let's get on to the facts. The Department of Justice is a weaponized department, and it will change after the 20th of January, 2025, as it always does under a new president. A. B. The issue that Sanjay Jha mentioned about him reading laboriously all those documents, he forgot to perhaps analyze 3 things. Number one, an indictment is based on allegations which are to be proved. Indictment is not conviction by any stretch of imagination. Number 2, why do we hate our businesses so much when there is so much of laden hypocrisy, which Shehzad Poonawala talked about? Number 3, who allowed Anderson to escape from Bhopal in the winter of 1984? It was a party whose representative today waxed eloquent about being far away from the corporate world. You tell me, Navika, and this is an open challenge. Where does Congress get its money from? Does Congress get its money from the hard work of its cadres? Everyone gets their money from businesses who at times they squeeze and at times they request. My view on the Adani issue is as follows. Number one, look at the timing of this. The timing of this is exactly the night before the bonds were to come in to the market in the United States. Happened with Hindenburg. Number two, the constant desire of certain members of parliament, including Rahul Gandhi, is to denigrate our institutions. What was the request today? Please sack Madhavi Puri book. Ask anyone from Kalpana Morparia to Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan. Ask anyone who's worked with Madhavi Puri book, and they will say she's an honorable person. Now, what she's done later, I don't even know her, so I'm not holding any defense. Number three, why do we constantly abuse the processes of law that are established in our country? When the Hindenburg thing happened, the matter went up to the Supreme Court, didn't it? The answer is yes. The same Supreme Court that the Congress party also trusts. I don't even want to get into the hypocrisy which Shehzad brilliantly touched upon of everyone approaching Mr. Adani, including someone I admire, Mamta Banerjee. Mamta Banerjee invited Gautam Adani last year, not this year, last year, to be the chief guest at the Global Business Summit of Bengal. This nonsense needs to stop. An allegation is not a vindication of a problem. Number two, please remember, all these things will be proven in a court of law. Number three, we have seen what the same goddamn Department of Justice in America, through absolute racism, did to the Raja Ratnams and the Rajat Guptas of the world. Now, even Sanjay Jha will remember that. And if he hasn't read it, I would recommend he reads a book called The Apprentice. So let's forget this goddamn hypocrisy. The reality is it's an agenda. It's an agenda-driven exercise, and it will find its own weaknesses in the fact that there will be no proof. We can keep abusing our own people.
Absolutely. And Sanjay Jha, you must answer this. There is a left-wing versus right-wing narrative war that's going on in the US. It's going on in the US.
This is going on in this country.
And that's the war you are willy-nilly getting into. So the question is also, are you playing to the Soros game? Are you playing to the left game?
Navika, since you are so bright,
so Navika, let me give you a short answer to your question.
Bernard Shaw.
Number one.
1 minute, Sanjay. Bernard Shaw said, when whales fight, shrimps get eaten. The fight is not between Adani and transparency.
Okay, fine. So let me carry on.
The fight is between Rahul Gandhi and his ability to win elections and come to power in India. That's the reality.
All right.
Sanjay, please go ahead.
According to Suhail, Rahul Gandhi, leader of opposition, has got such an enormous, extraordinary political influence that the Biden administration, the Department of Justice, the federal courts of New York, the SEC...
He doesn't have. He can barely influence his own family.
Please do not interrupt me. I'm speaking.
No, you interrupted me. I will interrupt
Let's have
you.
a civilized conversation. Let's have a civilized conversation. So according to Mr. Seth, Rahul Gandhi's ability to influence institutions is so enormous that the Biden administration has taken action against Mr. Adani because it's a left versus right ideological
battle.
That's
not what he said, Sanjay Jha. Either you're too smart or you're trying to be cute. I don't know which one of this is true. But let me get in Anand Ranganathan, because Anand Ranganathan, when he is made to wait this long, normally gets angry and demolishes people. So Anand Ranganathan, what would you want to respond to Sanjay Jha on?
No, good evening, Navika. My turn has come after 30 minutes, so please allow me the courtesy of uninterrupted at least 3 minutes, because it's a wonderful debate. Very important points had been put by every one of my wonderful co-panelists. Look, I have slight variance with the others, if I may, because I have never cared about who makes the allegations or when the allegations are made. I always attempt to address the allegations, whether they are true or not. Look, Rahul Gandhi wants Adani to be arrested because a US court is investigating the Adani companies. By that logic, shouldn't Rahul Gandhi be arrested because an Indian court is investigating the Gandhi companies? But then logic was never Rahul Gandhi's forte. Three things are constant in life: death, taxes, and Rahul Gandhi being an industrial scale hypocrite. I've said this before, let me repeat. Making sense of him is as easy as consuming rasam with chopsticks. The same Rahul Gandhi who wanted Indians off a court make significant risk in investing in the Indian stock market because the institution that governs it is compromised, unquote, earned 46 lakhs in 6 months through investments in the same stock market. If he had any integrity, he should have donated those 46 lakhs to the Wayanad Disaster Relief Fund. He repeats like a broken record that Adani is the symbol of corruption, while the states, erstwhile and presently ruled by the Congress, happily continue to invest upwards of 100,000 crores in Adani projects, mines, power plants, airports, you name it. If he thought Adani is immoral and unethical, then he should have got cancelled all the projects his governments have given him. Now, let me come to the present matter at hand. The allegation by the U.S. Attorney General that between 2020 and 2022, Adani and his companies gave 2,000 crores of bribes to Indians to get state-owned power distribution companies to sign a power sale agreement, PSA, with the central government-owned PSU, Solar Energy Corporation of India, SECI, that had entered into a power purchase agreement, PPA, with Adani companies that produce power. But because this power was expensive, the state-owned companies were reluctant to buy it from SECI. And to get them to agree, Adani allegedly paid bribes to the officials of these states. Once the sales were facilitated and Adani's power company's revenue secured, Adani then asked US citizens to invest in these companies, and hence the interest of the US authorities to investigate the matter. By all means, this is a very serious allegation, and honestly, the Indian agencies, including SEBI, should have investigated this matter first up and not the US agencies. But what Rahul Gandhi doesn't disclose is that none of the states whose officials were given allegedly bribed were BJP-ruled states. YSR Jagan ruled Andhra Pradesh, Congress ruled Chhattisgarh, BJP ruled Odisha, DMK ruled Tamil Nadu, in addition to governor ruling JK. In fact, the allegation draw a clear correlation between Jagan allegedly meeting Adani, leading to a massive 1,750 crore bribes that led to AP Discoms signing PSA with SECI to buy 7 gigawatts of Adani power. Same goes for Congress ruled Chhattisgarh. So did Rahul Gandhi and his party accept bribes from Adani to agree to distribute Adani power? Modi is corrupt, but Baghel, Jagan, Naveen and Stalin are not. Navika, just 30 seconds. Look, what concerns me as an Indian is that my nation's wealth is not wiped out. That the barometer of my nation's prosperity, the stock exchange, does not suffer. That millions of my fellow countrymen do not become poorer because the stock of an Indian company in which our government is heavily invested in is wiped out because of corruption claims. And it is not enough for people to say that India has enough checks and balances to detect fraud in time. We clearly don't. Judging by the Malia and Nirav Modi and Harshad Mehta and Ketan Parikh fiasco. Navika, 10 seconds. If we don't take these issues seriously now, we might as well shut down. Therefore, it is crucial that an independent Indian agencies, possibly the Supreme Court, investigate the entire Adani issue. Hindenburg, SEBI, and now Discom bribes.
But they've done. They've done on the other issues. They've done on the other issues. If this is the issue that has come up, yes, investigations need to be done. But to bring in Modi, is that fair? And Amik Jamai, that's the question. The question is, are parties in the opposition jumping to the Modi conclusion even before they've questioned the states that actually did this business with Adani?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
It is called Modani, Navika.
बहुत गजब का पीआर कैंपेन जो चल रहा है मोदी अदानी जी के डिफेंस में, पूरा देश देख रहा होगा कि कैसे कॉर्पोरेट पॉलिटिकल नेक्सस मिलके जो है एक करप्ट कॉर्पोरेट्स को बचाने का काम कर रहा है। मैं आपके सामने सोहेल सेठ साहब को याद होगा, मैं एक नजीर पेश करना चाहता हूं। एम्ब्रॉयडर विमान डील में यूपीए का समय था, कांग्रेस का समय था, उनके ऊपर जो है डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ जस्टिस अमेरिका का आरोप लगा और उस जमाने में सीबीआई ने उस पे जो है सुमोटो लिया और आज उनके ऊपर केस, पूरे मामले में केस चल रहा है। सवाल यह है कि जहां जहां नरेंद्र मोदी गए हैं वहां वहां अडानी जाते हैं। समझ में नहीं आता है कि प्रधानमंत्री जी देश के लिए जाते हैं या अडानी के लिए जाते हैं। लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री जहां जाते हैं, ऑस्ट्रेलिया गए तो कोल डील हुआ जहां हमारा एसबीआई डूब गया, श्रीलंका गए, श्रीलंका में प्रोजेक्ट डूब गया अडानी का, और अब केन्या के राष्ट्रपति कहते हैं कि जब वो प्रधानमंत्री से हैदराबाद हाउस में मिलने आए तो उनके बीच में एक आदमी अचानक आ गया और वो अडानी जी थे। वो क्या कर रहे थे अडानी जी? और केन्या में इस एयरपोर्ट के प्रोजेक्ट का विरोध हुआ, पूरे देश में उसके खिलाफ माहौल बना और आज राष्ट्रपति ने राहुल जी के कहने पे नहीं, अखिलेश जी के कहने पे नहीं, यूएस के रिकमेंडेशन पे उन्होंने डील को कैंसिल कर दिया।
अमित जमाई साहब, मैं एक चीज आपको बताऊं,
वैश्विक
आप ये जो कह रहे हैं कि ये बिजनेस लीडर्स बीच में कैसे आ जाते हैं, मैं आपको सिर्फ बताऊं, 2014 से पहले एनी प्राइम मिनिस्टर who went abroad on a foreign visit, not only in his own plane did he take a media contingent, he also took a corporate India contingent. He used to take business leaders with him. And Dr. Manmohan Singh, I've been on several of those prime ministers' visits. There have been business leaders on those planes. So why is everybody looking at this and waking up today as if Indian businesses are something that should not be touched by a barge pole?
जैसे लोग एक्सपोज हुए।
देखिए नाविका, if I may respond.
All right, many hands going up. I'm going to extend this debate by another 3 minutes. First, number one. First, let me get in Suhail Seth. Suhail Seth, you have 30 seconds for the counter.
Dr. Manmohan Singh, who I have the highest regard for, with Kamal Nath, briefed me on how should we make India big in Davos in 2005. And the line we used and asked Nandan Nilanthani was India everywhere. Governments must promote Indian citizens. Who should Modi promote? Someone from Fiji? A. B. CII has always been part of a commerce or a finance minister's contingent only from one view. The business of governments is to foster trade and create investment. Why are we against our own people?
Absolutely, and that's the question that I don't understand, that people who were free market economy followers have suddenly become left-leaning more than the left parties. And Sanjay Jha, sometimes you surprise me, but Shehzad, questions were raised of you, please respond.
Just 20-30 seconds and then Sanjay Jha and others can come in. Just 20-30 seconds. First of all, don't repeat the lie. Bangladesh Gautam Adani was taken by Manmohan Singh. Australia, he got his first coal mine under Manmohan Singh. Secondly, आप बात कर रहे हो अमित जमाई, सुब्रत रॉय वाली पार्टी, अनिल अंबानी के साथ रुकने वाली पार्टी, वो दूसरों को लेक्चर दे रही है। तीसरी बात और आखिरी बात, मैं सिर्फ इतना पूछ रहा हूं कि बाकी सब छोड़ दीजिए। अब कहा गया कि देखिए प्रोजेक्ट कैंसिल करो, अमित जमाई ने बोला उत्साह में। भाई आप प्रोजेक्ट कैंसिल करने के लिए बोल रहे, केन्या का उदाहरण दे रहे हैं, तो तेलंगाना का और पंजाब का, मैडम प्लीज डोंट इंटरप्ट सर, प्लीज अमित जी हैव सम पेशेंस,
वैश्विक संकट बन रहा है,
प्लीज
अडानी मोदी है और मोदी अडानी।
All right, Shehzad.
Navika, my limited point is, here is a statement of Aam Aadmi Party, which I think Priyanka has only given today in the media. हमने अडानी को दिल्ली से आने से रोका, अडानी जी को दिल्ली में रोका, तो पंजाब में निकालो ना, तेलंगाना में निकालो ना। और ये 5,000 करोड़ का घोटाला पावर सेक्टर में हुआ, you know who has given statement? अजय माकन। अब अजय माकन कहां से बताइए? ये हमने नहीं बोला, वरना बोलेंगे मोदी जी ने घर में स्क्रिप्ट बनाया। संजय जा बोलो।
जवाब देता हूं शहजाद
जी, बोलिए।
No, I'm completely out of time. I'm completely out of time, gentlemen, and the lady on the panel. The question tonight is, yes, there are allegations. Should they be looked at? Of course, we should look at. But you have allegations against Rafael. You had allegations on Hindenburg. All these matters have gone right up to the Supreme Court. Every day you raise these questions ahead of a parliament session. All right. Be my guest, raise these questions when they come up, they must be raised. But the question is, why run down your own companies in India even without investigation? How can you hang somebody without going through the proper steps of justice? That is the question tonight. Just because the attack is on Modi, just because you want to settle political scores? Is that fair? That is the question we're asking tonight. We leave it at that. Thank you to all my panelists for joining me on debate number 1.